Good afternoon, everybody. Before I get started, can everyone actually see me and hear me? Because I've been playing around with some of the settings, and I want to be sure people actually can see me. Some kind of hate speech law for pets. Hold on. Hey, Prepper Book Club, what's going on? Hey, Teresa. Hello, Neil. I don't understand why. I know what you put. You put the little goat and the purple hand for peace, and it gives me this, which is just silly. Oh, that's me. Duh. And then show the poll question. The poll question for the first poll is for 2024, I will be focused on, and then food storage, homestead planning, pews and meds, or something else. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm not sure why that does that. Hey, Tony, welcome. And Neil, I think I said hi to Neil. Yeah. Hey, old Joe Biden. This is Joe Biden's jam. Are we all dead yet? No, not yet. Eventually we will be. And hence Hudson's We All Gonna Die Wednesday, which comes on, oh shit, it's 7:30 his time, so it's 6:30 Central. Dude, if you jumped under the gate and snuck in here, I'm gonna run you off. So the Papillon, the little fluffy guys, figured out to go under the dog gates because we kind of have them sequestered on the tile. And he keeps sneaking under, but then I run him off, and then Bentley punishes him for offending me, I guess. Hey, resistance, what's going on? Made alive. Still in the back, still turning around. Hey, no worries, man. Be safe. Pay attention to what you're doing. You don't need any recordables at work. And if you work in a place where you have any OSHA rules, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's YouTube acting stupid for weeks now. None of the poll questions show up for me. Really? I'm going to turn into Captain Malt Liquor tonight and cause troubles. There you go. Well, don't drive. Well, Joe's pretty adamant about not driving when he's drinking, so I'll give him credit. Yeah. Hey, Joe Vacu, what's going on? Jason, shalom. It's good to see you. Hey, Papas, what's going on? Working on tile and home shower and listening. It's one of my various projects I need to get to. I don't see them either. Oh, that's weird as shoot. I'm a train safety coordinator. Okay, so Neil, you know exactly what I'm talking about, having a recordable. Which is funny because I've seen people get injured at work, and technically if you go over 500 milligrams in a pill, that's a recordable. I may be wrong on the number, but if someone falls and like the company or location medic says, we'll take 4 250 milligram Advil because each individual pill was under 500, it's not a recordable. Same bump, but yeah. The polls don't show up on phones lately. Huh. That's interesting because what I have now, I'm running through StreamYard, many of you are familiar with. And PBC, yes, book club, send me an email and I should be able to read it later tonight and explain, because the wife and I, she does some web design and she's got an online store and everything. And then so we have various platforms that we use collaboratively. So it's probably about 5 or 6 different platforms that I'll use to do certain things. And yeah, it can get convoluted after a while. Vision, no polls showing on my screen. Are you on a phone, Vision? Versus, and hey, Trent, it's good to see you. Drink liquor fueled degenerate until I'm gonna get myself in trouble. Hey, Devil Dog, what's going on? So hold on a second here. I'm having a bit of a technical weirdness. Let me see. Okay, so Vision, it's the same with the phone. So Vision, anyone who's on a phone for some reason now cannot see poll questions, which is super sad to say the least. All right, no, it didn't deliver it. Doggone it. All right, I was trying to send somebody a link and it didn't. So, well, that's silly. I sent it to myself. Maybe that'll work that way. Hang on just a second. That's weird. I'm going to look at because that just sucks if that's the case. Well, hell's bells. All right. Well, sorry, guys. I thought we could have some fun with the polls. I've only ever watched you from my phone and used to see the polls. Okay. Hey, Pilgrim, what's going on? Okay, but weird. Yeah, it is weird. Hey, Red October. I'm on a phone. I can. Maybe it's the type of phone, or maybe you need an update. That is weird. Hey, living in 1984. Hey, what's going on, Ireland? Thank you for joining us today. God, I was supposed to be actually in Ireland years ago on a business trip, got diverted, wound up in Amsterdam, which is definitely not a bad destination either, and then Vienna. But I basically went all around the Isles and never hit Ireland. So I'm hoping one day I'll be able to get to go back. I see on my China iPhone. Okay. Hey, random. Good morning. Oh, good morning. Good afternoon. Pff, Pilgrim, I got it on an iPhone. Okay. Maybe, guys, it could be just a software kind of thing. That I am not sure. Uh, you know what I'm gonna do here? Oh no, what did I do? Well, that's a party foul. I just almost kicked myself out of my live stream, which would not be the first time I've done that, by the way. So let's see, what does the poll tell us? So the poll was on 2024, I will focus on food storage. So most of y'all are saying food storage or something else. And other than a few of you throwing liquor, hey, Outlaw, what's going on? Uh, some of you throwing alcohol out there, and Sutherland Clan here sends poo. So yeah, that's the so I guess food and food storage is the predominant thing right now, and that's probably a smart thing. So the World Bank has issued a statement that they're concerned that there will be food instability. Hey, Hudson, uh, food instability in 2024, which those of us who've been in our little community watching the various creators, we already kind of know this. Hey, independent, what's going on? Oh, doggone it. So, hey, Gene, focus on skills. Yes. Oh, no. Okay, that's fine. Sorry about that, Trent. All right. Well, we'll figure it out eventually. Actually, I might have another question here to throw up there for everybody anyway. Um, but yeah, so they're stating that that there'll be food shortages or food how do they instability is the way they're phrasing it now. So it's not a shortage per se. They like to use this word instability, and technically speaking, it's a combination of multiple things, right? One is availability, two is nutrition, and three is cost, right? And a lot of people don't think of it in those terms, but let's think about it. So food instability, one, available, right? If there's no food available, you have an unstable situation, right? That's kind of a no-brainer. So when you think of it in those contexts, hey, Neil, what's that? Ninja said he would drop by my Sunday. Oh, tag me, send me the link or tag me when you set up the live. I jumped in there the other day, and hey, Loretta, that'd be fun to go in there and chat with him. Said the world can eat my shorts today. Yeah, I'm pretty much there. Uh, hey, Papas. Okay. I don't know if Devil Dog. I was trying to text Devil Dog. I'm having issues with my phone because probably we've been hacked or something. Who the hell knows? But in any case, going back to the food instability, so there are three aspects of it, and think of it in this way, because when we think food instability, we think food is not there. But here in the West, in the US, for the most part, we can find food. Our problem is it got really expensive. So, in my mind, and this is just me thinking out loud, you have three aspects, right? You have the food price, you have the availability, and you have the value of the food. And when I say value, not like weight in gold, but will it sustain you for any length of time? So, in places like, say, the poorer countries in Africa, like especially Central Africa, Somalia, where they're having a lot of instability, as opposed to say South Africa, Gabon, Nigeria. All of them have problems, but they're more stable because they have other resources that they can fund with. That's going to be an issue of availability, right? For us in the West, it's more an issue of the cost aspect. But what's interesting, they talked about caloric availability in one of these reports, and that one bothered me because what it's saying is there may be food available, but it may not be such that it will sustain some of us. Someone actually threw in one of my previous videos from a few weeks ago. I guess they just saw it and they commented, check your flour for cricket flour, which apparently is made from the shells of crickets. For those who've not seen Snowpiercer, which is a sci-fi movie, watch it because it's creepy as crap. And yes, that's a thing in that movie. Well, fake food, yeah, exactly. So neighbors and give you right. And you can, I mean, you think about it to Neil's point, if you have, even if you're in a subdivision, right, and you have the HOA and all, Texas is starting to change some of the HOA rules, but let's just say you can garden in your backyard unless you put something ridiculous there. The HOA doesn't care, right? They might look over the fence. They're not allowed to jump the fence, right? Then they're trespassing unless they inform you they're going to visit. You could plant crops in your yard. You could do a hydroponic in your house if you have the room and the money or time to do it. Uh, but imagine in an emergency, 20 houses all saying, okay, you 5 houses plant potatoes, right? Because those are easy to grow once you get the watering right. And you guys plant some herbs and spices, and Pete over here is going to plant a bunch of really spicy pepper plants. And crickets are not good for the body. And yeah, no, they're not good for the body. I mean, you can eat them if you have nothing else. Hey, True American Loretta, did you jump in here on me? There she is. Hey, welcome and thank you again. I know you've been super busy with work. Uh, hey, Jeep Girl. So you think about it in those terms, you can get a whole community to coordinate everyone planting something different in the backyard, which is why I love going to my farmers markets. I go to everyone I can, even if all I'm going to do is buy like a symbolic dozen eggs and honey, because I get to talk to these folks. I get to know this person does greens, this person has chickens, this person has beehives, right? This is something I now buy almost all my honey. I bought some bulk stuff. I buy it at the farmer's market. And what I'm trying to do from a business standpoint, if I look at my home as a business, I'm shortening my supply chain. Now, those of you who have businesses or have worked in logistics, I know quite a few of you have. If you're, say, a home builder and you can get your sheetrock in Texas from, say, Oklahoma as opposed to China, it'll cost you 5% more, but it's a more stable supply chain because you can truck it from A to B. That's way better than risking a disruption from Indonesia or something. So, yeah, the exoskeletons, there's something about it. And if you're, outcome after too much shrimp. Yeah, there's something in the, yeah, I think you're right, Joe Biden. It's chitrin, creatine. I can't remember how to pronounce it right, but yes, the component that makes the shells, a lot of people are allergic to. So if you're allergic to shellfish, you're probably going to be allergic to cricket flour. And again, I'm not a nutritionist, but it's just the genus of that animal species. They're very interrelated. So thank you, Tritrin. Critrin. I don't even know how to pronounce it. That's fine. Crichton. Thank you. Crichton. Wow, that's a weird pronunciation, but yeah, no, that works. I can't. Have to undo that one, True American Loretta. What happened? Did someone commit a party foul somewhere? Hold on a second here. Oh, my chat was way off. Sorry, my phone is crazy. Hey, Coffee, what's going on? So, but in any case, sorry, I thought something you guys were having trouble in the chat. So, in any case, when you're looking at your food preps and your meal preps or anything else, look at those three aspects. Look at the foods, the price, obviously, the availability, can you find it, but also the quality. Because I've seen some stuff I'll get at HEB or some of the local markets, and you look at the eggs, for instance. For those of you who have chickens, you go buy a janky Walmart egg, which are cheap, and then you get your egg from the farmer's market and you crack them in two side by side frying pans, and there's a world of difference. Like you're not you're like, where did this egg come from? Did it come from an ostrich? No, it's the quality of the egg is very different. So these are all things that the World Bank was kind of worried about, and it makes sense that that's a concern, and that's something all of us need to understand. We all need to be aware of. So I'm going to pull up a article here if I can find the doggone. So I'm going to put up another poll here real quick. Let's see. So I want to see who's watched Leave the World Behind. And I can't spell world apparently. So let's try that again. So let's see. No, I didn't want to do that. Hold on a second there, folks. Bear with me while my technical difficulties occur. Okay, this one's a yes/no poll, pretty straightforward. Hey, Daryl. Hey, Gene, again. So, okay, so a lot of you have not. Okay, so, well, I'm trying not to do a spoiler. In the movie, it involves hacking of certain vehicle types. And it just so turns out that, ironically, and I'll share this with you guys real quick. Let's see if I can get this thing to play. What the heck? Hang on a second here. Here we go. All right, so let me share the other screen. Let's see if it. So can you guys see that? Yeah, there we go. Tesla recalls 2 million cars with insufficient autopilot safety controls. I don't care about it. Neil, if you're a Star Wars fan, I got something here that'll completely blow your mind. Back here talking about stuff. Hey, Resistance again. I've seen the recall of 2 million. Hey, Moonsprout. So, uh-oh, what happened? Who got blocked? Hey, Watchman. Okay, the YouTube update. If your phone was not showing the poll questions, Vision couldn't see him. He just did an update. Now he can. Loretta hit her ex. Oh, no. Loretta. Wait, Loretta. Where is Loretta? Hold on a second here. Let me get onto. I'm trying to find Loretta. Unhide Loretta. Oh no, who hid Loretta? Oh, right. Loretta hid Loretta. That's actually kind of funny. Let me try and find or unhide Loretta. Oh, jeez. Oh, there. Unhide user. Okay. Okay, I think you're back, Loretta Hooch. If you can paste something, it's the chat's run amok on me. This is kind of funny. Cars were crazy scary. Is Loretta back? Not funny. No, I did it the other day myself. I think I muted Kevin. Kevin for like 60 seconds. I was trying to highlight his comment and I put him in timeout, but then I couldn't undo it because I didn't know. That's why. Are you back? Yes. Success. That's fine. For the record, if you're on a phone and you're trying to mod, because I've done this, if you click the person, the button is that big and it has all the options. and if your finger's like 3 degrees off center, it does something completely wrong. So, um, oh no, okay, no, that's good. Things happen. Try blocking yourself. No, dude, if I block myself, I'd probably crash everyone's internet. Like I've had that week. Um, I actually crashed a register at Target. The poor little girl's face. I don't know what I did. It was like you know how you swipe and you just want to pay. It's like $40 and you want to swipe the card and just pay the damn thing. And it asks, "Do you want cash back?" And you're like, "No." And then it asks you like 5 different questions. And I wasn't paying attention because I was being discombobulated and I hit something wrong. And like it said canceled. And I'm like, well, hell's bells. So I took the card out and then the girl goes, my screen went blank. I crashed her screen. I have no idea what I did. So I had to go to another register. So oh wait, what was that? Daryl Calhoun. Is New York Prepper up right now, or I've timed out by accident, felt awful, but she laughed. No, Loretta Gate. Oh God. Hey, well, you know what though? You probably have infection. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Joe, you may want to get that looked at, brother. Daryl 100,000 record deal. There you go. So yeah, so anyway, 2 million of these cars. Now think about it though. A lot of the off-the-shelf vehicles nowadays, Dodge, Chevy's, Chrysler. You remember OnStar when it first came out. Um, it was kind of, oh, this is neat. You know, if I have an accident, they can call me, I can get directions. Um, but the newer vehicles, so my daughter's fiance has a newer Dodge pickup, and it literally has like a self-driving feature, but it's not complete autopilot. So but it will maintain distance. It has the sensors all around, the cameras. So it freaks me out because I've driven with him and he'll take his hands off and like start screwing with something. I'm like, we're on the highway, and it's freaking me out. And he's like, no, no, it's auto drive. He thinks it's the coolest shit, right? And I'm thinking to myself, man, what if someone just decided to screw with GPS? That's it, just GPS, right? They didn't take down the grid, they didn't screw up make more train wrecks in Ohio. They didn't shut off the gas pumps. They just screwed up GPS. Do you know what a shit show would occur all at once? Wham. So hey, Vision, gotta run. Y'all play nice. If not, win. And don't get caught. Hey, be good, Trent. Thank you for jumping in here. State and federal representatives, tell them no on this. Start calling. Yeah, well, I encourage people. Oh, it has lane departure and radar guided cruise control. Some sort of changing or turning on the autopilot. Yeah, and this is true. That if the what was it, the 777 Supermax or whatever, that big plane, the one that crashed in Malaysia or Indonesia, actually had a malfunction. Dog alert. Um, hey, Cold War. But increased threat of tourist attack over holiday season. And actually, I think Cold War brought that up as well on a previous video. And Lee, I can't remember when it was. I think it was about just before Thanksgiving. You had brought it up. Yeah, pretty much. So it's interesting. We're actually a lot of people, a lot of creators have done reviews on that movie. And so we're going to rewatch it, but this time we're going to look for the Easter eggs on purpose. Like we're going to, so tonight's Taco Wednesday because I'm a day off. We were at a concert yesterday. So that was fun. Isn't the threat level always increased during the holidays? Typically a little bit, but They're because you have what's going on in the Middle East plus Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year's, and then Ramadan isn't until the spring, if I recall correctly, because they're on the lunar schedule. And the Orthodox Christmas is actually on a different day, like the Orthodox Christians, and then there's a series of holidays through the winter, and binge watched Reacher last night. That wasn't bad. It was a good beat 'em up. It could be. It could be very creative. It could be a documentary before the fact. I'm trying to view it, and this is the difficult part. I'm naturally suspicious, but I'm also naturally curious. So I want to watch it and try and, if possible, remove my own prejudices from how it was made, who it was made by, and just look a little more at the storyline and what the hints are. What are the messages trying to be conveyed? Now, I will tell you, this probably has freaked out every hipster from Seattle to the Bay and all the way into Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, because they're all freaked out now because, oh my God, prepping has somehow gone mainstream. Everything is cheaper after Christmas and Easter. Yeah, no, that's smart actually. I don't think it was meant like that, but it worked right. Gregorian calendar is 8 days behind Julian, so they okay. Which is funny because I know in the islands, Christmas was basically prayer and mass. The gifts were not exchanged until Three Kings Day, which many of you have probably heard of. So there would be a gift the evening of Christmas to celebrate the Lord and Savior, but then you would wait till the Three Kings arrived, and then more gifts would be delivered to the children. So, yeah, it's funny when you look at all the different little traditions that came down through the religions. Um, but in any case, Joe, you need a coffee. Are you still keeping on the? Oh, Joe needs a coffee. Jeep Girl says. So, folks, again, Tesla calling back 2 million vehicles. But think about it. As Hudson pointed out, his wife's Dodge has that autopilot lane control feature. So does my wife's SUV. But that one, it just bumps you. It kind of keeps you, if I'm trying to turn lanes and I don't have a signal, it just kind of nudges me. But imagine an autopilot feature going south. And that's something that concerns the crap out of me. Because if your phone can control your car, so you can like start it from your kitchen if it's a cold day and get it warmed up so you don't go in there, you go in and you have a toasty seat. What could a bad player do to your vehicle? But I do believe if somebody knocked out GPS, it would cause an absolute mess for everything from truckers to trains to transport ships. So I thought it was interesting. Coffee, be safe. 1970s Bad Company. You know what? I saw parts of it when I was a kid and I never finished it. Be safe. Yeah, we're going to cook dinner here in a little bit myself. So, but folks, pay attention to these signals. I just find it very interesting that the movie just came out and there was another article about a series of Chinese hacks. Now, we hear about Chinese hacks all the time, right? But let's see. Right after the movie. So when did the movie come out? And again, I'm kind of going down a little bit of a rabbit hole here, so I hope you guys to stay with me for a second. Ta-da. So this pops up right after the movie comes out. China-affiliated hackers hit critical U.S. infrastructure. And according to the article, hackers affiliated with the PLA have allegedly intruded into computer systems of dozens of infrastructure units in the U.S., including water, power utilities. They specifically mention uh, West Coast power grid, Hawaii water, oil and gas pipelines, and they went after, I guess, the part of the Texas grid operator. Um, Allegedly has not caused disruption, but you gotta, the timing's really convenient, don't you think? I just find it. I rented a Subaru Legacy in the really scared the hell out of me when lane departure overrode my steering wheel. Yes, and if you don't know it's coming or you've never driven one, it's super weird. And on long drive, like if I'm on a long highway drive, it doesn't bother me. I kind of know it's there. But if I am driving in traffic, I don't like it at all because I may have to maneuver abruptly because somebody's being an idiot. A high school kid cuts me off. I don't want my car pushing me the other way to because some setting decided I shouldn't be there. I want to make the judgment, and I'll own that regardless. Got to run a All right, no worries. Tiva's too loud for her. Wait until series is done. She's watching. Okay, yeah. So again, the two topics that I saw in the last couple of days that kind of got my attention. One was this repeated hacking, which comes out, right after the movie. How convenient. Um, the Tesla recall, again, right after the silly movie, which a lot of us had worried about cars getting hacked. So this is not super new. Just that many all at once is kind of bad, especially for Tesla stock. But the food instability going into 2024, that's something, because when that resource becomes scarce, water, food, fuel, is when countries start trying to acquire. Those of you who are history buffs, you go back to the beginning of World War II. Part of what motivated Japan to attack Indochina, to attack the U.S. base in Hawaii, was because the U.S. put an oil embargo on Japan. So they got in a bind and they decided we're just going to take the oil fields and rubber plantations in Indonesia and Malaysia by force. Uh, so, right. Russia also stopped exporting wheat. So, and this is absolutely true. I actually spoke to someone who was a farmer. We were talking to them at a restaurant the other day. We're just like at adjacent tables having a lunch. And you sometimes get into a conversation. He's like, "Yeah, I like it. I drive my tractor down a lane, and then my software tells me, okay, turn here,' and he turns. He hits the button, and it adjusts his wheels. And uh, it's it's a it's a frightening thought that one thing has become so embedded in our society that we don't even know it's embedded. And this is a community we're all talking about this kind of stuff. Uh, Barney and Yosemite Sam was the cameraman. Get Barbie's burning. Jimmy Merkel, I have no idea what that is. September. I really miss my dad. Hopefully, he doesn't have the same technology on his rockets. Well, I hope not. God. So, nukes and satellites have been set off by free. Right. Well, technically, we're not supposed to. None of the nations are supposed to put nukes in their satellites, but we have a lot of nuclear-powered satellites floating around. So, who's to say that it isn't legit? And then you give it a code, and it goes somehow creates critical mass and becomes the nuke. It may not even contain one. It may be the nuke, but day to day, it's just a satellite going boop, boop, boop in the upper atmosphere. So, yeah, there are a lot of things, but again, the food insecurity, the this sudden big Tesla recall gets reported. I don't know when it actually occurred. There have been other recalls on a lot of vehicles, especially since 2020. But having that many for one provider because the automated features are not working right, it's a concern. And right now, the EV market is starting to tank because people are like, we can't afford the damn thing anyway. So we're going to just go buy the little Nissan at the used car dealership and live with that. So it's hack the computer chips and credit cards. Oh, I'm sure they've been trying to do that for a while. So but yeah, folks, it's well, Joe, be safe, man. Just yeah, stay at home and but in any case, folks, a lot of reports on instability, and I didn't want to talk about the war in Israel, Palestine, or Ukraine, Russia. Really, we've kind of beaten those to death. But the Russia in particular, that does affect the food supply, which is going back to the three aspects: availability, cost, and quality. That's affecting both the availability and the cost, because now people who want to buy in Africa will have to get from India or from the US. They're going to have to go a different route. Now, I will tell you the Israeli Palestine conflict, because of all the rockets and drones being fired over the Suez Canal area, is causing a lot of cargo ships to go around the Horn of Africa, which takes immensely long time to do. So we're starting to see how these conflicts going into 2024 are going to increase cost of living for a lot of us. Uh, the report I saw yesterday, this was on ABC News. It said the average home monthly mortgage cost, and they averaged out like however many homes, was 2,000 a month for whatever many square feet back in 2021. So not that long ago. As of right now, that same house, same down payment, everything, because the price has gone up and the interest rate has gone up, is now costing that family 33 to 3600 a month. Now you think about it, that's huge. That's at least a 50% increase, if not more. It's almost a doubling in some cases. And this is these problems make other things harder, because you have to choose, do I pay for my house or do I buy groceries? And people are having to make those decisions. I think in 2024, when the Q3 of 23 reports come out, no, I'm sorry, Q4 of 23, the shopping reports finally get tabulated and released in January, February, March, it's going to paint a really bad picture for Q4 this year. And that's going to freak out the markets, and we're going to see it. Um, a lot of the market analysts are saying that the stock market is being driven by greed. And I always go back to what Warren Buffett says, is when everyone else is being greedy is when you should be fearful. And when they're being fearful is when you get greedy. So if you notice, Warren Buffett cashed out almost 28 billion of stock over the last month in pieces, all legally, all declared, announced, put in wherever SEC reported, however they're supposed to. 28 billion, that's not chump change. Everyone else is being greedy, he's being fearful. His company, Berkshire Hathaway, they're pulling back and they're getting a cash heavy situation, and then they're waiting to see where the market goes, because if it takes the dump, they're going to start gobbling up cheap stocks and then catch them on the upswing. So watch what some of these analysts, these billionaires do, right? They're there for a reason. Not all of them were connected that well. Some of them were just damn good at what they do. If they're doing stuff like that, Bank Power come out with the diesel hybrid Humvee. That's interesting. I wouldn't buy a Jeep right now. They just told the workers they're laying off. Yeah, because they have to pay them more, and nobody's buying the vehicles anyway. So people have already forgotten about the dam they took out in the infrastructure. No, they don't, and that causes problems as well. As Jeep Liberties on so many people, they're not even four-wheel drive. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate you. So interest rates were into right, but the cost of the houses was much less. But you're right. There during the early 80s, interest rates were between 15 and 22. So they were in that window. So that's not incorrect. That's absolutely correct. No, it is a bad joke. Yeah, and the Congress people. So the smartest entrepreneur I've seen in the last year, he developed a software that tracks what the Congress people and their families are selling and buying, i.e., like Paul Pelosi, right? Nancy can only do certain things, but Paul can do things. Their son can do things. They track and then they send a report at the end of each day saying, hey, this senator's daughter did this congressman's wife did that, and this person did this, and this guy related to Obama, and this guy related to Bush, and blah, blah, blah. This is what they're buying and selling. And then you can decide if you want to do what they're doing because maybe they know something. The fact that the people who regulate our stock market can even invest is concerning to me. Like, if they're on the Ways and Means Committee or the economic committees, it should be required that not only the congressperson, their spouse, and any adult children and siblings have to report their stock trades for any stock that is managed during that month or during that quarter. Right now, as a congressman, I can't do certain things. I can call my brother and say, hey, buy 500 shares of McMuffin Electronics because we're going to release them to make chips for the government, right? He goes, buys it, and then he just sends me money on the backside, right? That's really hard to track. So, right, exactly. You and I would go to jail, Joe. That's basically what it is. Absolutely. Watch those, and I got a new machine that makes filters, sir. Oh, that's interesting. Did a segment about how they're going to go after extra properties you may have for increased value tax. Yeah, they've been talking about that, and there's ways to write it off. There are ways to get around it depending on the state. Um, and I'd need someone with a lot more experience than me in that because we've had rental properties. Future real life. Yeah, no, 100%. Hey, Orion, what's going on? We just get the no, and it's concerning because they don't. A lot of them don't care. They're completely out of touch. You know, the fact that one of the Congress was it AOC who basically said, well, you're just going to have to buy an electric vehicle because that's just the way things we're making things, and then 2 weeks later is complaining that her $3,000 a month paid for apartment in Washington D.C. isn't big enough for her. And then they busted her boyfriend for trading stocks or taking money from the political action committee. What are they doing? These people are full of it. So yeah. But yeah, folks, watch what the big whales are doing, right? The Buffetts, the Elons, the and even the more elites, the Bernies, the Obamas, the Bush family. Watch what they're doing. And if you see something saying, "Oh, Obama just bought a bunch of this," So interesting fact: the company that makes, as how Angry Prepper calls it, the arm ticket, uh, that starts with a P, uh, a PF, I believe. That company earlier this year bought out a cardiac specialty company and a cancer specialty company. The stocks were not down; they were actually in the mid range of what they normally are, but that company bought them anyway. Right after or just before it was announced that the arm pinch is not mandatory. Maybe they were just expanding. They got a good financial deal, right? This is happening in the energy sectors. Companies buy each other. But it makes you wonder, hey KP. So also include the Waltons. Yes, if you can find what they're doing. And that's the thing. The executives have to report. Their sister's husband doesn't. So, in any case, watch what they're doing. I'll try and see if I can find a way to kind of track some of this stuff Because it would be interesting to throw that out there at everybody and go, oh, look what the, so and so senator's wife bought. I mean, you go back to the Vietnam War, Lady Bird Johnson, LBJ's wife, if I recall correctly, her brother had a big investment in a company called Bell. Guess who made the UE helicopter for Vietnam? Bell Hughes. Yeah, that war was a complete racket too. And so it just makes you, hey, Johnny Preps, what's going on? You buy property with nothing on it for 10,000, they could come and claim it's worth. Right. So there's ways to battle that, but a lot of people, and to the Watchman's point, a lot of folks don't get informed. It's almost like they're trying to push a dialogue that, oh, don't worry about what we're doing. It's too difficult to understand. Bullshit. I want to know everything you're doing, and I want to try and understand it as well as I can. So I understand what the hell you're doing. So either I can do it too, or I can raise a bunch of noise about what you're doing. They don't want that. They don't want us knowing. But to Watchman's point, if you buy property and they eminent domain it, or they do other things, there are ways to battle it. The states will only do that if somebody's going to profit. In many cases, it is an emergency thing, but in a lot of cases, you start looking at, well, they eminent domain so and so's farm, but then it turns out the mayor's cousin owns the construction company that's building whatever it was there. So if you buy a property and the tax appraisal is disproportionate, there are ways around it. But again, if people don't take the time to do the homework, it's tough. Devil Dog was finishing your message from the last live. Ramadi and Fallujah. Ooh, Fallujah was oof. That was not a fun place. Tripling value is problem, then they get more tax money. Right. Or they make you foreclose. Then the bank sells it. Which is why, like, Bank of America, I think, is the devil. So because they literally told, we had a rental property and we had to evict the tenants because the SWAT team took them. And that's a whole nother video for another day. Anyway, they were saying, oh, well, you just don't have to pay. This is during the 2008 crash. No, you don't have to pay. We'll just, we'll just, if you go into 90 days overdue, the government will help you. And I'm like, 90 days overdue, I'm foreclosed. No, that's not what it is. They literally were telling people that. I didn't believe them. My wife was a realtor. She didn't believe it. So we figured out a way to cover both houses. We ultimately re-rented it and then we sold it. But the fact that for every couple like us who did the homework and knew the business and and could make that argument internally and say, okay, we're going to not listen to the bank. How many other people lost their homes? And what did the bank do? They collected all these properties at a discount. They foreclosed on them, sat on them, put them on the books, and then they sold them off when the market turned around a year later. The executives of those banks made millions in bonuses while people were losing their homes and living on the street. You're going to see that again, but pay attention, be informed, understand how this stuff works. And these are getting right. And yes, thank you, book club. Absolutely. Hey, Pennsylvania. Hey, was it Bank of America too? Because those sons of, they can keep that damn bank. I'm super curious if it was oops, hold on a second here. Okay. I wanted to be sure I was in live chat and I didn't lose something here. So in any case, folks, look, stay on top of the news. Don't panic. Again, information like this, food insecurity next year. You know what that tells me? Instead of buying the small chicken pack, I'm going to buy the big chicken pack and I'm going to freeze it. Or instead of the small oatmeal, I'm going to buy the big oatmeal and Mylar it. You know what I mean? This kind of information helps you. It was, yeah, Bank of America can eat a bag of ass. I just sense of, oh yeah, no. If my day don't improve. I can relate, Joe. Not today, but I've had those days recently. I just those are days you don't see me on a live stream. Uh, be informed of that stuff. When the World Bank is saying something, their analysts saw something and they're telegraphing. And in many ways, I think that movie is telegraphing. I would watch the movie knowing who's involved with the production, even though the Obamas came late in the process. Like the movie was already collecting funds, they had picked the actors, and the Obamas jumped in. I think for them that was more a money thing, a diversifying their portfolio to give to their girls. But they probably put their little 2 cents in there. You and I know they did. Watch it with a grain of salt, understanding it's a movie, and take the lessons you can from it. And again, as I said yesterday, sometimes the best messages don't come from the best messenger. And it's important for us to have a discernment as to how we want to take things. So, but you have to pay attention. They take your house, sell it on the courthouse steps for next to nothing. Yeah. Yeah. There've been a lot of chickens. The Free State of Jones. It is. And I saw people get upset because they pointed out that those slaves didn't vote for the party they thought they should vote for because they literally didn't understand. I thought Greenland was actually, I really enjoyed Greenland. I like Gerard Butler in general. I think he's a fun guy to watch, but the way the movie was laid out. So yeah, if you're looking for good movies, how about we do this? So everyone, before I shut this one down, if you want to put a few names of some good movies, apocalyptic or prepper type movies that people would not only enjoy but maybe learn some, throw them in there. Yeah, well, lucky he came in late to the process, didn't he? Like the Obamas just kind of were like they'd already bought the script. Netflix already bought the script back in 21, had the actors. They just kind of threw their 2 cents in toward the end of it. I didn't think they were like really in because they don't know what the hell they're doing making movies. They're politicians and lawyers. Too simple. They were laid on. You didn't like that one? 1981, Early Warning. Book of Eli's a good one. Oh, the fight scene at the beginning. Duh. That was what's a new movie coming? I have to watch the Obama one. Hey Rip, what's going on, buddy? So any other suggestions? Also oh shit. It's How It Ends is okay. The God, I can't remember. Dragon Day is a creepy one. How It Ends, Dragon Day, Greenland, uh Goodbye World is an interesting one too. The World They Live. The road is dark. You know what? You can learn a lot about civil unrest from the gangs of New York. It's not so much a prepper movie, but it is good. So the movie was good, the book was good, but the book and the movie were completely different, other than what happened, like the incident itself, how who was behind it was completely different. Jericho's good. Jericho's a series, and they did finish the series. It's not like cut off, but They Live was a documentary. Jericho was great. Really, yeah, I thought it was too. It was dark. It was a little bit sci-fi outlandish at times, but I thought it gave a good message as well. EMP 333. I have not seen that one. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go and see that. Idiocracy. That's what we have now. Just go to the mall. God, I'm watching kids trip over each other because they don't know how to tie their shoes. Um, and one scene, the son wears an obey, they live reference shirt and leave the world behind. Uh huh. Okay, I'm gonna have to see They Live. as well. So yeah, folks, go grab a good movie, make some popcorn, tacos, whatever it is floats your boat. Have a mixed drink if that makes you happy. Go watch a movie. Don't get too into the politics. Just kind of take it for entertainment, but look at any scenarios in the movie and go, hey, you know what? That is interesting. That could actually happen. And those kind of things. Contagion's a good one. DEFCON 4. What was the one with James Earl Jones about the Cold War? God, I can't remember it. It was a really good one. Oh, then you also have The Day After, which was a Cold War flick. Um, Threads. Threads was dark as shit. That's another one. Uh, so yeah, go catch some of those movies. Again, even though The Messenger may not be someone you may like or be involved with it, and you may not like them, at least be mindful enough to look at the bigger picture and just look at the movies or these films and say, well, what can I learn from this? You know, do they have something good in there I hadn't thought of before? American Blackout was a fun one too. I enjoyed that. I don't have a TV on purpose. Dawn of the Dead. That's the one. Contagion's the one with Matt Damon, correct? Am I mixing up my movies here? 10 Cloverfield Lane is a good one. Cloverfield gave me head spins because the camera was like that most of the movie. So Among Us is good. Hey, what's up, Isaac? Welcome. Educate on that. That's not an unfair statement, my friend. Not at all. Soylent Green. Oh, that's dark as shit. Outbreak. Of course, you can watch I Am Legend, which the monsters all started with a mandatory medicine that made them behave in an evil way. I have to be careful what I say on the platform so they don't kick us all off. Yes, I actually watched that this weekend. That was fun to watch. But well, folks, look, I'm going to wrap it. A Hunger Games is a good one. That the Hunger Games is what happens after the collapse of modern society. Uh, yeah, Threads is a good one too. I finally watched Omega Man, Lucky. I think you and I had mentioned that in a chat months ago. I finally got to watch it. I got a kick out of it. It was so 70s retro, but the message was still on point. Uh, but in any case, folks, look, again, World Bank reporting, they're expecting food instability, insecurity. We all kind of know that. We've seen it coming. We've seen the supply chain issues with the conflicts, seen the price of fuels go up, seen the availabilities, the fires, etc. Just make smart decisions, budget everything if you can. Don't buy in a panic. It is Charlton Heston. Don't buy in a panic. It isn't going to help anything. And so I don't believe is Vision on. Vision's not on tonight. My mother's Spark is taking care of little bunnies right now because they had like 6 little potatoes. Uh, well, Isaac Asimov also wrote I, Robot, if I recall correctly. So it also what was the other one? Oh shoot, I lost my train of thought there. Now I had a squirrel moment. In any case, folks, that one is good. So, folks, budget your stuff. Take your time when you hear the news. Don't take it as a panic. Instead, look at it and go, what can I take from this? How would this inform my next decision so that I'll be ready for whatever comes down the pipeline? You know, and again, you guys know me. I'm not one to try to get hyperbolic. So just be careful, be systematic in the way you do things. And take care of your neighbors if you can. But anyway, folks, you guys be good, be blessed. Godspeed wherever you're traveling, even if it's just to the couch across the house. And I'm going to start taco night. And I think a mixed drink is in order. So you guys be good. And I will see you on the next video. And don't forget, Hudson is later tonight. So I'm going to be back to go and pester him in his chat. So you guys be good. Take care.